Good afternoon, happy Tuesday. Oh, there's no mic. There is a mic, but you're not hearing the right one. Anyway, good morning. We have afternoon. It's 1 minute till 3 o'clock. So we'll get started here in just a second. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. The weather is beautiful. It's warmed up and it's so nice outside, which is probably why we only have 4 people on, because you all are so excited to be outside when it's not steaming hot. Today, hopefully you have signed in already. Today, chat's disabled, it says. Hold please. Let me see if I can figure out. Oh, there's my chat. Okay, now it's back. I just refreshed my screen. So if you had the same problem, just refresh. So you are probably watching us through our weekly webinar website. I added just a few things. So if you're not seeing the right video, please go ahead and refresh your screen. Sometimes I'm human, forget to upload the correct video in the little viewer. So I did that maybe 15 minutes ago. So if you've been here longer than that, please make sure you refresh your screen. Also, if you click on the YouTube link at the bottom, it will open YouTube. And when you do that, you are going to see that chat screen on the right-hand panel. Also, if you go over to this little settings gear in the bottom right corner of your viewer and you go to quality, you can make it 720, which will make it so everything is clear. So please go ahead and do that if you've not already. I'm going to take this and move this back over here. And we are going to begin our webinar. So if you've not signed in, please go ahead and do so. My name is Melissa Matthews, and I am here with
Gail Sigalakis.
And we are both working with the Department of Educational Technology, and our job is to teach teachers technology. So we have come to teach you all about Chrome add-ons. So without further ado, we're going to move on. So what in the world are add-ons, you might be asking? Add-ons are program-specific tools that make it so that you are able to do a multi-step function in very few steps. It is program-specific, I said. So there is a store for add-ons in Google Docs. There is a store for add-ons in Google Sheets. There is another store for add-ons in Google Slides, etc. So every store pretty much has its own little or every program has its own little store. I always say that it's the best store because your spouse can't yell at you because it's free. So that's always fun. So the first question you might ask is, where do you get add-ons? So if you open up your Google application, it could be Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, whatever it is you're looking for, you're going to see this menu bar. And on that menu bar, you're going to see add-ons. So if you go to the bottom, you're going to see where it says Get Add-ons, and that's where it will take you to the store. So in the store, you're going to see all sorts of programs specific to that program, all sorts of add-ons specific to that program that will enable you to do just what I said, make a multi-step situation into a step or two. Here's the information. So every Google application offers its own add-on store. The add-on itself enables you to accomplish a task much easier and quicker and faster and much simpler. And almost all add-ons are free. There are a few that have like stipulations to them. So for example, there's one where you can use it 2 times. And then if you want to use it more than that per month, they're going to charge you. So I know there's one called Power Tools that I use in Google Sheets, and it removes duplicates and it compares and contrasts columns on different sheets to columns in different, even different spreadsheets. And I know that you can use that twice a month. And after that twice, a second time, they're going to try and charge you. So if you can minimize the amount that you use it, or maybe have your neighbor use it if you need it more than once, then it will be free for you and very beneficial. Okay, so my favorites. Real quick, in Google Forms, I love form values. So I make several different forms where the answers are always the same. So if you're a math teacher, maybe the answer is always multiplication, addition, subtraction, division. Or maybe it's the different types of triangles. So it's isosceles, equilateral, right? So, you know, to type it once, no big deal. To type it multiple times all year long, maybe it's easier for you to have a list like you can see over here. There's a letters list, a teacher's list, a trees list, and a schools list. So maybe you want a triangle list. And so all of your answers for your questions on triangles will be in a triangle list. My favorite is the school list because it lists every school in our county, A to Z. And then all I have to do is click the button and boom, it pops all of those answers into my form for me without me typing pretty much anything. So that's pretty cool. Lucid charts is also pretty cool. It allows you to make Venn diagrams, flow charts, storyboards, org charts, you know, whatever it is that you need. It allows you to create it and update it and change it and share it and all sorts of things. So Lucid Charts is actually in Slides. It's also in Docs, and it may even be in Sheets. I don't know. Most add-ons, like I said, are program specific and not found in multiple stores. Lucid Charts is kind of the anomaly because it is available in multiple stores. Okay.
All right.
I'm passing it over to Gail. We're going to go live, and she's going to teach you some pretty cool things. So I'm moving out of her way. I'm actually going to grab a water. Do you want one?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. So she's showing you some awesome stuff.
Okay, so what we're going to look at today are 2 new add-ons for Google Docs. So you'll want to, I just pulled up a Google Doc right here. This is an old test I used to give, the Telltale Heart. I really miss teaching that. I really enjoyed that. All right, so if you go to the top and you click on add-ons, the first one we're going to look at is DocuTube. So if you are in, if you have it already, it's going to show up like this. If not, then you're going to go to Get Add-ons and you're going to find DocuTube. And what this does is if you have, sometimes like Melissa said, it helps to streamline your work so you don't have to go to so many places. So this lets you play a YouTube video from within a Google Doc. So it's not going to take you out of your doc and go over to YouTube. It's going to pop up the video right here on the side in Docs. So I went ahead and just put 2 links in here with some videos that if I was doing the Telltale Heart, I would have the kids watch this one. And this one here is an audio version of Telltale Heart. So instead of taking me to YouTube, I could click on that and I can play the audio version right here. So in order to initiate that, we're going to go to the Doc YouTube. And it lets you do the pop-up or sidebar. So we'll do sidebar. And you're going to read it from the document. And you'll see that the 2 videos that I put into my doc are now here on the side that I can click on and play. And this morning, Melissa and I found out, we were talking about the ads don't pop up here, where if you're playing off of YouTube, a lot of times you get the ads that pop up, or it'll show the little must play for 5 seconds bar. That kind of eliminates it here. These just will start playing and right into the audio version or the video.
And I also know that in Google Slides, if you embed a YouTube in there, there's no ads. So that's also pretty nice.
Yeah, avoid those annoyances. Okay, so that's Doc YouTube. And let's look at another one. We're going to look at Docs to Forms. So funny from this morning. I think Melissa thought this was going to be like a magic button that would transform. I did. Like literally, she was like, no, I thought it was going to make it magically be a form.
I thought you were going to hit a button. It was going to take all your questions and whoosh, it was going to be a form.
So it's not that magical, but it does
still cool.
Avoid you having to go open a form, create a new form, go in between forms and docs to move your assessments or quizzes or tests you have. I know I've had a lot of teachers ask, so I have my test or my multiple choice question in a doc, but now I want to make it a form that's so time consuming, and is there any easy way to do that? So this makes it a little easier, but it's not a one-click button. We have to do a little work. So that is called Doc to Form. So again, if you don't have it, you're going to go down here to Get Add-ons, and you'll find the Doc to Form. If you have it, then you're going to go into your add-ons, and you're going to click Create from Doc. Oh, I also noticed that this here pops up the ones you have enabled. So you can see what you have working on your doc.
Nice.
I noticed that. So if you're not sure what you have, that'll pop up. Okay, so create form to doc. So yeah, it doesn't make it, you can see here, it doesn't make it a magical form with all your questions in it. But what it does do is generate a form and let you start inputting how you want to collect the information. So
it's all on one screen, which is really nice because we don't have to go from tab to tab or screen to screen trying to copy and paste and what have you. It does look and work a lot nicer.
It's next to each other. The closest. So you can collect with the username if that's what you want to do. Your students' user IDs will pop up there. I'm sure that's what a lot of you use when you do forms. Or you can ask them to input their name, and that will show up as the first question for them to answer in the quiz or form. And then we have some question types. So just like you would if you were creating a regular form, you have different types of questions. So we can choose to make it a short response, short response, or we could do the paragraph response if you want them to write a lot more. Lots of nice text evidence in there. Or you have multiple choice, check boxes, or choosing from a list. So we do have some options here that you can turn your questions into. So I have a bunch of multiple choice here, so we'll play around with that and see what that looks like first. And since we did this morning, we now know what to expect. So we'll copy a question, and we're going to paste it right in here. And we want to make this multiple choice because we have A, B, C, or D. And so you don't have to now go back into a form and go A, copy B, copy C, copy D. We're going to copy all of the section here, A, B, C, or D, and we're going to paste it into the answers. And the only thing that you're now going to have to do is put a semicolon. So it does say separate with a semicolon in between each answer, and that will populate into the form. So we'll do that. And then in just a minute, we'll click create form and see what it looks like. All right, so I'm going to go down to where I have another answer type of question. So let's do a short response. So we're going to copy the question. We're going to click add a question, put it into there, and let's do the paragraph because we want lots of details in their answers. And we'll do one more. Well, we'll do like a, let's see, add a question. Let's make this check boxes. All right, so we'll go back up to our multiple choice. So we did learn this morning that if this is the format you've made, this does not copy so nicely. So maybe you might want to just do this. Oh, that doesn't make so nice. You want to keep your multiple choice straight up and down so they're easy to copy and paste. Columns, this is what we learned today.
The column she definitely is trying to pull the whole row as opposed to left or right. So
so you want to keep them vertical.
Up and down on top of each other.
For easy copying. All right, so we'll do one more and then we'll go ahead and populate the form so you can see what that looks like. And don't forget our semicolons here. I'm going to get rid of that just because that's going to bother me if one has an A and the other ones don't. All right. And we're going to go ahead and click create form. And you can keep going, make as many questions as you want.
I feel like we need a drum roll here.
Yeah. What does it look like?
And then view the form. And
ta-da, you have a test. So you can see the name popped up that we asked it to do, or it would have collected the student ID. Then you have your multiple choice nicely laid out here, a short response, or check boxes if that's what you pick. So there was a good question this morning about quizzes. This makes a form, and then if you wanted to turn it into a quiz, then you would go into your settings, and then you would just check your make this a quiz box, and now you could go back and insert
the
your
key
points, all that good stuff, the points and everything. So it does make a form, and then you have to turn it back into a quiz if that's what you want to do. So hopefully that will save you some time when you are trying to transfer over tests or quizzes that you spent all that time making, and you want to now make it into a form so it's easy to use. Docs to forms.
Okay.
Do we have another one you wanted to show?
ReichU.
Oh, the one we did this. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta show ReichU. So I don't know about you, but when I was in the classroom, I would come home winter break normally, because right when we get back is when the Florida Writes is. Or do they call it Florida Writes still?
FSA writing.
FSA writing now. See, I'm old school.
End of February, beginning of March.
Yeah. And so we would do all this writing. So every winter break, I'd go home with this stack of writing samples from my kids. And my intent was to grade them. And every year it was like, yeah, no, not going to grade these every winter break.
No.
Even though I knew I needed to, I didn't.
Yeah.
So ReichU is so cool because it grades them for you.
Do you have that essay you made today?
Oh,
is it in your recents maybe?
Probably.
Okay.
Let's see. It wouldn't have untitled. Yeah, 854 looks about right. There you go. Oh, so
ReichU. Did you know it did that?
I know.
All right. Yes. Well, we'll look at that at the end then.
Yes. Delete that for now.
That. Okay.
Okay.
You want to run it?
Sure. Okay. So basically, let me show you real quick. So you go to Add-ons, you go to Get Add-ons, and you search ReichU. ReichU.
W-R-I-Q.
And so ReichU is made by TextHelp. So TextHelp also offers the two programs, the Equatio, which is, they're both extensions, but Equatio is for math, and Read and Write is for, basically it's for an ESC population or anyone struggling, where it will actually read the screen to you and allow you to highlight important information and things like that. So those are all free for teachers. So ReichU is so very cool. You ready? So it will, first, what you do is use it with Google Docs, obviously. You pull in the main writer's name, because it's going to automatically pull anyone who the document is shared with. So you pull the main writer's name and you put what grade level that writer is at, and then you score the document, and it will go through. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that. And it will go through and it will tell you, it'll highlight all the words that it thinks are incorrect, whether it be grammar, punctuation, spelling, or some other error. And so you can go back and you can change it where, nope, that error is actually correct. Let's see if I can find one like that. I guess there's not a picture of that. So you can actually run this and it'll give you all this data. So it'll give you your score, how many words you had, how many words were wrong, why they were wrong. It'll tell you what level, what grade level your writing is. So if you're a 5th grader and you're writing on a 7th grade level, it will tell you that. It will not grade for content. So if you're specific to the writing about, that it flows and that there's, a beginning, middle, and an end and a purpose, and it won't do any of that. It will just strictly do spelling, grammar, punctuation, and the level of the vocabulary for the writer. So in order to use this one, you're just going to go add-ons and you're going to go to ReichU and you're going to show ReichU. And it's going to come up on the right-hand panel. And again, it's going to say who's the writer. So you got to pick the name of the writer. And it takes just a second normally. There you go. So I'm the only one this is shared with, so it's me. And then what grade is the writer? We said this was a 7th grade. And then we can say if it's narrative, informative, or opinion. So this one's informative. And we're going to rescore this document because I already scored it earlier, which is why you're seeing those yellow highlighting. So it's going to go through and it's going to show me. And keep in mind, I believe, Gail, did you write this?
Did I write it?
Yeah.
Somebody wrote it. A student wrote it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a student did write it.
So when I click here, it's going to say that they think this is grammatically incorrect, which is why it's highlighted. Let's say that it actually isn't and it's correct. So we're going to clear that error and you can see all those numbers just kind of changed. $1,800 today to be on this ship. That sounds right. So we're going to clear that error as well. They have an extra space here. So, or maybe it said it should be a hyphen, actually, I believe. Did it?
Did it say that?
Add grammar hyphen required. So there you go. It wants a hyphen there. And so we can keep that error there. And we can go through and we can even add errors. So let's say Irish is a grammatical mistake or a punctuation mistake. I can add an error and it will go through and it will see how it's purple because it's a grammatical mistake versus yellow or pink. So that's kind of nice. So then it goes through and it tells you sentence count, word count, maturity, all sorts of things. And so I click next and it tells me how I can now grade it as a rubric. So this is where I actually grade based on, so I manually put this in, right? Here's my response. Here's my thesis. If it's below grade level, it's going to have these things. Almost grade level, at grade level, or above grade level. So me, the teacher, am going to say that's at, that's above. This is actually below development, and language was almost, just so we have something random. And I'm going to click save. And you can see it's going to check everything off and it's going to graph it all out for me. It's going to show me down here that it took me 4 minutes to write this paper, that my text maturity is a 10th grade level for my 7th grade body. I'm back in 7th grade.
I like the feedback box up there.
I can write feedback right there if I wish to. Error-free, total words, etc. And I click confirm and it adds it to my child's paper. There you go. It was delayed reaction. Wait for it.
Nice colorful chart.
Nice colorful
We
chart.
love the colors.
And it will then, if I go to my dashboard, it's going to show me the graph correlation of everything I've ever written throughout the year. Obviously, I only have one here, so it's not going to show me much, but it will show me that line graph and tell me for each writing style how I've been doing, and it will graph that out for me, which is pretty cool. Oh, Melanie, I'm sorry you were having trouble. I'm glad that you're able to join us now. Remember, it's all recorded, so you can always go back and watch it again. Okay, so that was ReichU. What else should we share? So let's go to forms real quick. So in forms, it looks different. So in forms, my add-ons, it's kind of weird. So if I click the 3 dots down at the bottom, there's my add-ons. But do you see how it's the puzzle piece here? This one's going to take me to the store. So here's my add-on store for forms. And you can see here, SurveyMonkey, Choice Eliminator. So I have a lot of schools use this when they're planning out like conferences, and they have breakout rooms and they can only fit 30 people in a room. So they're going to use the Choice Eliminator. When 30 people choose option A will go away and only B, C, and D will be left. So Choice Eliminator works pretty nicely. Form values is the one I shared with you earlier. Simply send some of your forms for you nicely. And again, if you don't know what some of these things are, because I don't know, like Google Forms dynamic fields, no idea what that is. So if I click on it, it's going to show me all sorts of pictures to explain what it is that dynamic fields does for me, which is kind of nice. So then if I'd like it, all I do is click that free button and it'll add it in. This is the share button. So if I find this and I go, oh, you know what? Gail's really going to love this one. I can click that and I can mail it to her and she'll get a mail, or I can put it in my Google Plus group and share it with all my Google educators and say, hey, check this out. I think you're going to love it. Once I add them in, then I click on my little add-on puzzle piece and I'm going to see all the add-ons that I already have and how to use them. Form notifications is kind of nice because it will notify you every time someone fills out your form if you want to. So that one's a pretty good one as well. Okay.
It's a fun place to shop around.
Yes.
There's so much to like get lost in and cool little things to find.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we got 4 minutes left, so let's go through homework real quick. So all homework is due Friday. No excuses. Friday at 4 o'clock. That's it. The end. Done. Live attendance. You are supposed to. We encourage you to be here live, but we understand some of you have other things going on at the specific time, so you are now able to watch the recordings for points. Implementation homework. You need to take a picture of you doing something you learned during this webinar. So any kind of add-on that you used, you can take a picture or a screenshot. Snipping tool works really great to do that. There's also a Google extension called LightShot that also works very well. Those are some ways to take that picture and upload it to ELM. Also, there is one survey, that PD survey that you do all the time. There is one for the entire semester in ELM, which needs to also be completed for points. So that's your homework. Couple announcements. Discovery Education has an engagement challenge. So a few weeks back, David Fisher hosted a studio webinar teaching you all about Discovery Education's new program called Studio. It is phenomenal. Basically, it can be used as a, so many different ways. It can be used as a virtual board builder, as a poster board, as a website, as a Google slide kind of project. It is collaborative. It is dynamic. So we are looking for 5 entries per school to enter into the engagement challenge on Studio. The due date for that is going to be February 14th. So it can be something Valentine's Day-ish. I didn't say that right.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day-ish. Say that fast 3 times. Or anything you want, really. It can be on African American History Month. It can be on, I think, isn't Washington's birthday in January? George Washington's birthday? Or maybe that's Lincoln's birthday. We have some holiday. Martin Luther King's birthday. There's all sorts of things coming up. I'm just making them up as I go along. But yes, we encourage you to join. We have tons of really cool prizes, so we'd love to give them to you. And also note, there are 16 prizes. So there's 4 areas in our county. There's a north, south, west, north, south, west, and central area. Then we break it up by K2, 3, 5, 6, 8, and 9, 12. So there are lots of prizes. So please, oh, please join in, because the last time I only got to give 2 schools prizes, and I would love to give more away because I have a whole cubicle full of prizes. So please join in for that. If you've not joined our Google Plus group, we have an SDPDC Google Educator group, which is pretty cool. What I love about it specifically is that it enables you to pose a question and get immediate feedback from your peers. So I just chatted that into the chat window. So feel free to go ahead and join our Google Educator group. Let's see. Oop, I'm on the wrong screen. Oop, there. Literacy Fest, February 23rd. I know it's a Saturday. Don't kill the messenger. But Literacy Fest is such an amazing event. The curriculum department works really hard on it. They have some dynamic speakers. They're looking for more. If you are interested in joining them or presenting with them, it is a great opportunity to get your name out there, to get people to see what you are capable of. And it is really a fun conference. So I am pasting all that information over in the chat window, so you can see the name of the event is first, and then the link to that form is second. So hopefully some of you will apply to present. And that's all for today. So I hope you all have a wonderful holiday break. Our next class is January 15th. I gave you a week off when you got back because I assumed you'd be really busy getting back in the groove. But January 15th is our next one, and we're going to learn all about hyperdocs. Hyperdocs are super cool. So if you're not familiar with them, please join us on January 15th. Have a great break.
Bye. Thank you.
We'll see you soon.